some residents in the valley, traffic noise is more than just a nuisance. Coming up, we tell you about a proposed bill to build a sound barrier in one neighborhood.
Plus, we take a look at the dramatic increase in passengers this past year at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport.
And later, how a new telescope will help scientists better understand and see outer space.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Sedona Meadows.
And I'm Colt Almodovar. Thank you for joining us. Traffic noise can be annoying, but for some, it goes beyond being a nuisance. Cronkite News reporter Molly Hudson went to one neighborhood where the traffic noise is actually causing health problems and spurring legislation.
The neighborhood in North Phoenix is home to a residential community for adults with disabilities. The highway was built before the residential community, but now the people living there hope they can make some changes to bring a little quiet to their lives. This is the noise that resident Wynn Charles lives with on a daily basis.
There's 8 lanes of traffic going constantly 24/7.
Wynn lives at Luna Azul, a residence for adults with disabilities right on the frontage road at 16th Street and the 101.
When we step outside our homes, all we hear is constant noise.
Wynn has cerebral palsy, a neurological condition that impacts her in a lot of ways, including needing to use a wheelchair. And the constant noise?
This noise is making my cerebral palsy worse. And I hate to say it, but it is.
It has even woken her up in the middle of the night.
It's anger. It's really anger because people don't understand unless I teach them, which I do on a daily basis, what cerebral palsy is.
But what frustrates her even more is the sound barrier across the street. Wynn lives in a neighborhood on this side of the street where she says the sound is unbearable. And there's no sound barrier. But if we take a few steps across the street, there's a large sound barrier protecting the desert. Senator Paul Boyer hopes to address the need for a sound barrier with his newly introduced bill.
It directs the Arizona Department of Transportation to build a sound barrier.
Boyer said ADOT reports that the sound level in the area was 0.1 decibels below the minimum for a sound barrier. And while the noise level may not meet ADOT minimum, it makes a huge difference to residents like Wynn, who is part of a collective fighting for the new law. Boyer hopes his bill will give residents the relief they need.
We wouldn't accept this if this was our backyard, and we shouldn't expect these residents to have to deal with this ridiculous amounts of noise every single evening, and during the day as well.
For Wynn, who has to play music to fall asleep, she says the entire neighborhood is impacted by the noise.
The neighbors hear, children can hear it, the vets can hear it, the neighbors behind us can hear it. We can hear it like so amazingly, and so it irritates me.
I reached out to ADOT, who said they do not comment on pending legislation. The bill goes before the Appropriations Committee tomorrow. In the newsroom, Molly Hudson, Cronkite News.
New CDC data shows people with the COVID-19 booster have a very small risk of dying from the virus. The average weekly chance that a boosted person died from COVID-19 was about 1 in a million during October and November. During this time, about 1 person per 100,000 people who were vaccinated but not had received their booster died of coronavirus. For unvaccinated, about 8 people per 100,000 died. The risk of dying of COVID-19 while boosted is less than the risk of dying in a car crash, which is about 2.4 per million. The CDC says the chances of dying are higher due to the Omicron surge, but officials expect that risk to be lower in the coming weeks. Some ASU student athletes are pushing back against the university's COVID-19 vaccination policy. The school is requiring booster shots for basketball players, wrestlers, and gymnasts to travel to away games. Almost 2,000 people have signed the petition, asking for the freedom to make their own medical decisions. The petition on change.org says the organizers stand in support with those who received the booster, along with those who choose not to. Organizers say, quote, "We want to express that there should not be a forced decision to be made by us athletes that causes us to sacrifice the season and the competition that we come to Arizona State for." The petition also states the requirement of the booster does not apply to regular students who are able to travel to and from the university without restriction.
Arizona saw a record high number of COVID-19 cases reported in January, making January the month with the most cases reported in the state. The state reported more than 413,000 people have been infected with the coronavirus this month. This is nearly twice as many people as the second highest reported month in December 2020. Arizona has reported a total of over 1.8 million positive cases and more than 26,000 deaths. Almost 73% of eligible people have been vaccinated against COVID-19.
With people eager to travel, Phoenix's Sky Harbor released its December 2021 report that looks at passenger numbers. Cronkite News reporter John Brown is at Sky Harbor with the latest numbers.
And according to Sky Harbor's stats, the airport saw just above a 77% increase in passengers compared to 2020. One airport worker says he saw many reactions from passengers.
It's been a lot of delayed flights. A lot of passengers are missing their flights because of the weather. So a lot of people are coming here mad and everything like that. Angry passengers means angry workers. And it's just a lot of delayed flights, a lot of craziness.
I feel like a lot of people are trying to get out again. And yeah, it's just everyone's trying to go places again.
And although numbers increased in 2020, numbers decreased by about 16% in 2019. Sky Harbor also saw about 38 million passengers in 2021. And if you're catching a flight out to the northeast from Sky Harbor, make sure to check in with your airline and check the weather as well. And if you want more information about statistics, go to skyharbor.com and click under Airport Statistics. At Sky Harbor, John Brown, Cronkite News.
2 Arizonans were subpoenaed by the Congressional January 6th Investigation Committee this weekend for falsely claiming to be Arizona electors during the 2020 presidential election. Nancy Cottle and Lorraine Pellegrino were the 2 subpoenaed. They claimed to be the chairperson and the secretary of the Electoral College on documents that were submitted to Congress to cast 11 false Arizona electoral votes for Donald Trump. The subpoenas are just the latest effort by the January 6th Investigation Committee to crack down on several U.S. states that had illegitimate presidential electors in 2020. Arizona State Senator Wendy Rogers introduced a bill to add Bitcoin to the list of legal tender in Arizona. The Republicans' bill would make Bitcoin used for all financial transactions like paying bills or taxes. Critics of the bill question whether such a law could be enacted because the U.S. Constitution does not allow states to create their own legal tender. And even though there are thousands of cryptocurrencies out there, Senate Bill 1341 would only legalize Bitcoin.
Coming up on Cronkite News, waiting for photos from deep space. Astronomers are looking forward to seeing images from the Webb telescope, what they hope to learn after the break.
Iguanas falling from trees in Florida. We'll explain what's causing this phenomenon.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons, your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
nature, and nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Here we go. Lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
The ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has left hospitals struggling to keep positions filled, and Maricopa County is launching a new program in an attempt to help fix the nursing shortage. The program will offer more hands-on training before nurses enter the workplace. The county is using funds through the American Rescue Plan Act to place 50 students into the program. Students will spend one-on-one time with a professional in the healthcare system, which offers them the practice outside of the classroom. The program is to help students feel less overwhelmed before entering the workforce, and hopefully less likely to leave the profession later on in their career.
Scientists are excited about a historic moment approaching for humanity. The Webb Space Telescope is expected to send its first images back to Earth. Cronkite News reporter Juan Uresti speaks with two scientists about the importance of what these images could reveal.
When this thing got launched, it was just incredible. And what was even more incredible was when it got launched, everything has worked. You know, there's a lot of suspense going with checking things out when it gets up there, because if anything is wrong, you've got to figure out how to work around it. You can't fix it. But so far, fingers crossed, wood knocked on, everything has been working great.
Webb is an infrared telescope with an unprecedented scientific power due to the size of its primary mirror and the extreme sensitivity and precision of its 4 scientific instruments, which help reach farther into space and explore more planets.
We're going to understand better our place in the cosmos. We're going to characterize and maybe even find Earth-like exoplanets and understand them better. Do they have atmospheres like their own, or like our own? Do they have water in the atmosphere? Do they have oxygen in the atmosphere? Do they even have ozone in the atmosphere?
If any of these 3 elements are discovered, scientists believe that there is a great possibility to find life in other planets. In Phoenix, Juan Uresti, Cronkite News.
It's even possible scientists could get the first images from the Webb telescope this coming June.
Temperatures are not the only thing dropping in southern Florida. The National Weather Service is now warning residents about falling iguanas. Cold temperatures stun the iguanas, causing them to fall from the trees. The Florida Wildlife Commission is reminding residents to not bring stunned iguanas into their homes or cars. The iguanas can recover quickly after waking up and can cause injuries with their claws, teeth, and tails. And while no iguanas are falling out of the sky here in Arizona, we have had our fair share of chilly mornings these past few days. Evan Liss is in the Cronkite Weather Center with more.
Look at the weather headlines you need to know for this week. We have a strong storm system moving in on Wednesday into the southwest. This will usher in a pattern change for our region and bring along with it some really strong winds for parts of our state and some noticeably cold air along with it. Definitely going to be noticeable. You're going to want to pay attention to the morning lows for this one. We have high pressure that's going to move out to our east and bring along with it those sunny, warm conditions we've been enjoying. Wednesday, we have this strong low pressure system come down. It's going to be a combination of 2 that strengthen into 1. Here you can see our precip chances rising with this storm system on Wednesday morning. We have snow probably begin in the high terrain, 4,000, 4,500 feet. As we go into the evening, that snow level drops down to about 3,000 feet and below. In the afternoon and evening, we also push up our light rain rain chances in the lower deserts. Once this storm system moves out to our east, we have this northerly flow set up, a polar pipeline sort of situation, very chilly conditions coming in after this. As I said, wind threat's probably going to be the biggest threat with the storm system. The Colorado River Valley is what it's targeting, 40-mile-per-hour winds in Quartzsite, 32-mile-per-hour winds in Lake Havasu City. These are sustained wind speeds, so the wind gusts are going to be higher than this. I'm sure there'll be high wind advisories up and down the Colorado River on Wednesday. Then, after we have that little bit of precip move through our region, we really turn our eyes towards the temperatures. Look at this map. We're not used to seeing this amount of blue, purple, and white for our temperatures in Arizona. 39 degrees as our morning low in Phoenix on Thursday, 45 in Yuma, a lonely, measly 8 degrees in Flagstaff. And this one I really can't believe. 29 degrees down in Tucson is what they're going to probably be waking up to all the way south down there in Tucson, which is just wild. It really shows the strength of this polar pipeline setting up behind the storm system once the cold front moves through with it. Look at your 8-day forecast. As I said, we have that pattern change on Wednesday. You can already start to see the temperatures drop. Then we turn towards those cold mornings Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We 39-degree lows for each of those days. Then in the latter part of next weekend, we warm up. And by the time we get into early next week, we're back around average for this time of the year. I'm Evan Liss in the Cronkite News Weather Center.
I'm Ashley Engel. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report, including some decorated ASU baseball alumni returning to the Valley. Hear from them next.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons, your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Here we go. Lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. I'm Ashley Engel, and this is your Cronkite Sports Report. Bellator Mixed Martial Arts made its way to downtown Phoenix for a big-time event, which saw Arizona-based heavyweight champion Ryan Bader defend his title for the first time since 2019. Cronkite News reporter Parker Dunn was on hand for Bader's victory.
What a spectacular night it was here at the Footprint Center right on behind me for Bellator 273. This night had it all, I promise you. It had the submissions, the TKOs, and it had the championship fight going the distance with Ryan Bader coming out on top. He was the underdog in this one, but he pulled it off via unanimous decision after going the distance.
I knew I was going to fight till the very bitter end, and I think that's what won me the fight. He was tired. I was pretty damn tired at some points too, but I knew if I just kept working, I had the potential to come out with a win. The manager grabbed me and he's like, "Hey, Congo and Paris in May." I'm like, "Okay." It's actually nice. It's not like I'm getting any younger, right? I'm 38 years old, and I had a fight in October, obviously here tonight in January, running again in May. You know, let's just rack them up, you know, and so I'm excited about that fight. Like I was saying earlier, that's a fight that I always wanted to run back just because of the no contest.
Ryan Bader retaining the belt in front of the home crowd. It was electric, but this isn't it for Bader. The 38-year-old fighter is going to take on Czech Congo in the next fight on May 6th, where he's going to look to defend that heavyweight title once again. It should be a good one. In Phoenix, Parker Dunn for Cronkite News.
Bader, a former ASU wrestler, wasn't the only Arizona fighter to put on a show for the hometown crowd. Fellow Sun Devil Sullivan Coley, as well as Benson Henderson and Henry Corrales, all fought in front of friends and family, with each fighter coming away with victories. While it was a winning night here in MMA at the Footprint Center on Saturday, the Suns got a victory there on Sunday, beating the Spurs in a fourth quarter comeback. But the big news was Coach Monty Williams and his staff getting the nod for the All-Star game. This is the first time Williams has been able to be an All-Star head coach. Both he and his players were excited about the honor.
It's a huge blessing to be in this position where you can, you know, be the caretaker of an organization and represent the organization, the city, the team, your family.
It's pretty cool. It's, you know, I think this is the best start in franchise history to this point, and it's really awesome to be a part of that. And I'm really happy for the coaching staff that they get that opportunity. They really deserve it. I really think they're the best in the league at what they do.
Staying on the court, Arizona men's basketball hosted ASU at the Mchale Center for their first Territorial Cup matchup of the season. It was a poor shooting effort from the Wildcats, but they eventually topped their in-state rivals by a score of 67-56. The Wildcats' scoring output the last couple of games has been well below their average. Their loss last week to UCLA dropped the Wildcats from number 3 to number 7 in this week's AP poll. The Bruins now sit at number 3. The two teams square off once again on Thursday in Tucson. Meanwhile, back in Tempe, ASU baseball hosted their annual Alumni Game. The event saw the return of fan favorites and stars like Andre Ethier, Dustin Pedroia, Cole Calhoun, and more. There were 87 Sun Devil baseball alumni that turned out to Phoenix Municipal Stadium for the highly anticipated event. It was a reunion for old teammates, and for some players, it was the first time they'd swung a bat in years. It was a great time for all, especially Trevor Williams, who said he was excited to get back together with his old teammates, while head coach Willie Bloomquist weighed in on the expectations for this season.
It's a wonderful event, something that I look forward to in my 3 years at ASU, and I'm glad that I'm able to be a part of it again, and it's a rich tradition, and it's fun to see former teammates and old alumni here.
It's no secret what the expectations from not only our team, but our fan base and our alums are around here. We're not going to talk about it, we're just going to go out and perform the best we can, and hopefully at the end of the rainbow we'll be where we're supposed to be.
The Super Bowl is set. It's the Rams and the Bengals facing off in LA on February 13th. A year from now, Arizona will host the big game, and maybe the Cardinals will make it there. Former Cardinal Larry Fitzgerald was recently named to the Super Bowl host committee. We caught up with him recently at a pickleball tournament, and he says he's thrilled to be a part of the Super Bowl once again.
It's a great honor to have the Super Bowl back here in Arizona. I mean, the state absolutely loves hosting this game. It's great for local businesses, the hotels, and just give visibility to the state. You know, I love it here. I'll live here the rest of my life. Michael's made this his home as well, and you know, you can't ask for a better place. So I'm looking forward to not only hosting the Super Bowl in the state, but the Arizona Cardinals playing in it next year.
Some more exciting news for Cardinals fans. Left tackle DJ Humphries was named to the Pro Bowl for the first time in his career as a replacement player. He joins teammates such as Kyler Murray, Chandler Jones, Budda Baker, and James Conner as selections for the game, which will take place this Sunday in Las Vegas. That's it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Colton Sedona.
After the break, a car auction for charity in Scottsdale. We'll tell you how much some of these supercars sold for and who benefits next.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU
ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
This month in Passport, your on-demand library of the best of PBS.
Everyone has secrets. Are you protecting someone?
I have no choice.
You do have a choice. You're looking at him.
That's amazing. We could be standing on top of a T-Rex right now.
Women demanded new space and pushed the boundaries of what being a lady means.
These and other shows are available with Passport. Become a member of this PBS station. Sign in and start streaming today.
I was so excited when I learned that I was going to be the next moderator of Washington Week. I was incredibly lucky to be mentored by Gwen Ifill, and what that gave to me was this confidence that I could be my full self and that I was deserving of whatever spaces I was in.
Welcome to Washington Week.
I also feel this great joy in taking the helm of Washington Week, knowing that I can mold it and make it my own, but also make sure that it is still within the legacy and the tradition that made it so great for all of these years.
Barrett-Jackson Collector Car Auctions raised more than $8 million for charity during their 50th anniversary celebration this past week in Scottsdale. In total, 10 cars were auctioned off for charity, including Grammy Award-winning artist Pitbull's 2022 Karma GS6 EV, dubbed the 305 edition, which sold for $500,000. And the most expensive car sold at the charity auction was the first retail production of the 70th anniversary 2023 Chevrolet Corvette Z06, which sold for $3.6 million.
And that's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.